Welcome to the Northern Outcast Outdoors podcast, The Outcast. Powered by A&F Custom Calls, Veteran Innovative Products.
No. Do it. Do your sponsors.
We're going back to the sponsors again, Chuck.
Season 2.
How many episodes did we have in season 1?
I think 9 or 10.
We're not quite to 20 yet.
No.
But we're getting there. So we had a little pizza intermission. Pizza
Delicious.
bourbon. Marshallone's, low-key gem. Anywho. Talk about the sponsors again since we're going to post this separately.
We posted 10 episodes season 1.
Okay. So let's just make it, quick and dirty like we did in the first one. Back.
You got to thank the sponsors, man. You got to thank the partners.
We
can't call them sponsors. They're our partners. They're our friends.
It's a family.
A&F Custom Calls. Kyle Allen.
That's our dude.
Greatest custom turkey calls this side of the Mississippi.
We've used those calls how many states now?
Ooh, 5.
4 or 5.
Probably 5.
Successfully.
I've killed a lot of birds with his call in my mouth. Put it that way.
Same.
A lot of birds.
VIP Broadheads, Matt Futere.
Yes, sir.
That's our dude also.
Hey, by the way, did you know he now does inserts and non-glue inserts, mind you, and fill tips? Yes, non-glue
That's spicy
inserts
because
for
the
arrows.
epoxy thing's kind of a...
It's kind of a pain in the dick, ain't it?
It's terrible, actually.
Yeah. So what's nice about his is if you want to run a heavier setup for elk and you want to run a lighter setup for deer, you can buy both, and then all you do is literally screw your broadhead out and pull them right out, and then put the other one in, screw your broadhead in, boom, you're done.
Absolutely spicy.
Yeah.
Our dude out in Washington fighting the good fight, Spencer.
God bless him.
My boy's seen some shit out there.
Yeah.
Off-Grid Food Company. Give my boy a like on Instagram. Check him out. They're coming back. Thank God they're coming back. Best food.
Yeah, if there's any state that has hurt their people worse in this pandemic era, it's
Last
it's
week
really
they
close.
just put a magazine ban on their weapons. Different
It's unbelievable.
podcast, but anyway, Washington,
Let's
not
get
the
past
greatest
that
place
one.
to be.
Off-Grid Food Co. And last but not least,
Our newest and the key member of this conglomerate for this episode, Citizens Hunt Co. We got the hats on right now. I got one on. Just check it. You got one on? You got one on now?
He has one
There's
on.
one there.
He's
Boy
got
Kyle's
one
pointing
on.
over there. We all got one on
Yeah,
now.
I mean, everybody
So-
but Kyle, pretty
Everyone
much.
but me, because I got a little head.
Yeah, anywho.
We're getting there.
Everyone
We're gonna work
except
on
the
it.
brand ambassador.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Citizens Hunt Co., our new hat, new apparel sponsor?
Yes.
Yes, new
Yes.
apparel sponsor. Anywho.
Let's just say we got some hats coming his way as soon as they get to my hands.
So, very convenient segue into this. The Citizens Hunt. Hey, we met you guys, a week ago?
Like a week ago, yeah. We saw each other. Laurel Sportsman's Night Out, and just kind of worked out perfectly.
We do be vibing.
Yeah.
We be vibing.
We be
Yeah,
vibing
sure.
right
Yeah.
now.
It was
So, I mean-
actually a good event, man. We were back and forth, getting people over to our
Yeah.
little corner. We kind of stole the show in that entire room. if you
Yeah, I
ask me.
kind of feel bad for everybody else, to be
I
honest
don't.
with you.
I don't because they weren't putting in the effort we were putting in.
No. You're right.
Facts. Got
It
to put
was-
the effort in.
I mean, out of the entire, I shouldn't say the entire, but the majority of the area, we were the youngest, not youngest, but
Probably the youngest.
probably the youngest.
Youngest, loudest, most interactive.
Right.
We had guys on the outside. We had guys behind. We had, constantly people pulling in.
Yep.
Come check out the giveaways. One thing, that's how you get people in. But
Mhm.
if you're just going to sit behind your table the whole time and play
And you're not
turkey
going to interact
calls,
with people.
you're not going to
get anywhere. Yeah.
You're not going to
Right.
get people to come check you out. Even the people
Right.
that were pretty standoff, and the ones that stood like they walked in the middle.
Standoffish.
Right, they walked
Yeah.
through and they just kind of
Yeah.
look from a
Like,
distance.
don't look at me. I'm going to kind
Mhm.
of check you out of the
Yeah.
corner of my eye.
Yeah.
Yep.
Meanwhile, this guy forgets the banner, forgets the backdrops, everything,
did.
right?
Yeah.
Everything's
Yeah.
forgot it all.
Right.
So the nice part about that was people actually had to come over to our booth
I mean,
just
I
to
did
figure
bring
out
up-
what the fuck
Yeah,
we were
freaking
doing.
what is this guy
48-inch
yelling about?
TV to frickin' player video. I mean, for those who don't know, too, we were at a trade show.
Yeah, you
Outdoor
could
show.
call it.
Yeah, outdoor show.
Trying to
Right.
get some youth involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Youth and
But I mean, we did speak to the younger kids, though. I mean, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
we were, that's who we
Mhm.
primarily attracted. We want you
Yeah.
to watch our YouTube and, check out our social medias and stuff.
Mhm.
That's who we're going to, go to. Not the,
Yeah, this is a portion of Pennsylvania where, and there's nothing against these guys, but they're
Yeah.
your ladder stand hunting guys, box
Yep.
blind guys that are just like, they don't have a YouTube, they don't have Facebook,
They don't know what
have
YouTube is.
Instagram,
Right.
they don't know anything about that kind
they're
of stuff.
still mid-90s, and they're not going to change.
And they're stuck in their way, and that's fine because there's a place for those people in our state. That's what built the foundation of our hunting culture. So, in all reality, you need them. And I love seeing them there because some of the older guys would stop over and talk to us.
Yes. And I'll be honest with you, some of the older dudes got the best stories.
Yep.
Oh,
straight up.
Yeah.
That one guy was a little wild, but other than him, everything
The dude
was
with the
good.
freaking skullet.
The
He's probably listening. I'm going to shut up.
Scarlet, yeah.
guy licked
Everybody
the knife.
here knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Anywho.
That guy licked the knife. Born in 04.
He
That's
looked,
not a knife. This is a knife.
he looked like a less zitty version of the main bad guy from Dennis the Menace.
Nice reference. Nice.
Bomb.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, with like less skin blemishes. Anywho.
Yeah, that's what those old guys like to see. They like
I
to
went
see
there
the
with
younger
you.
guys ecstatic in the outdoors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just gets them over to the booth.
We did get one guy. The guy that won it, he had his daughter, I think, was there with him. She
Kid.
put in
Some
kid.
child, yeah.
His
Offspring.
child that he was watching.
So
They ended up winning. It was
Offspring.
funny. I called him, and it was clearly a guy's name on there. And I called, and some girl answered, and I was like, you won the giveaway? Oh, okay, we just left. So they came back, and then a dude walked in, and he called, and then it was a guy's voice. I was like,
He was
are
not
you
entertained.
watching me?
He was definitely not
He
entertained.
had no clue what he won. He didn't even know where we were.
Yeah.
I said, we were the ones with the fishing pole. He's like, oh, okay. And then he found us, but it was pretty cool. We brought him over to our booth, though. That guy would have never won had we not been so
Yeah.
interactive. Like,
Yeah.
hey, get your ass over here and sign
Right.
up. You know, I was actually trying to pull most of the people away from Citizens over here because
Yeah,
they were
you-
taking a
and
lot
you-
of the
I
action.
think you
at one
did.
point. Yeah.
Succeed. In,
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
but
that.
there's a lot of people who like to hang out, like you said, like 10
Yeah.
feet away, kind of like
Yeah.
scope it out from
Like,
a
let me see
distance.
what my buddy does. If he
And then
doesn't get murdered, I might go up.
Yeah, but if you reach out, you can clearly see they're interested. You just got to kind of reel them in a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Say,
You
hey,
like
we got
free
free
stickers.
stickers. Right. You want to put this on a couple light posts for
Yeah,
us or
but-
something
right.
like
It
that.
was-
Mailbox.
At least we didn't
Funny
have a van
'cause-
behind us. We did
Yeah.
good because of that.
But Shevitz, Ryan Shevitz, the guy that's like the president of their like high school club or whatever, the one that like puts us on, he came up to us as soon as we were like kind of like loading our stuff in. We had 2 tables, which we only asked for 1, I think. But
we
he's
did,
like,
yeah.
hey, you guys need 2 tables. And we're like, huh? It's like, well, I didn't know we had 2. And he's like, well, do you need 2? I was like, I mean, not really. I don't think. And he's like, well, these other guys are like here, whatever. And I was like, whatever,
Yeah.
These other guys are here. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I was like, whatever.
And then they come in with a giant tree stump. And I'm like,
Yeah,
what
tree.
the fuck is
Yeah.
going on?
And I was
like,
like,
we're here, guys. We're here.
Yeah, so I was like,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
They're
whatever.
flexing on us with the tree stump, though.
Yeah.
Right?
But we like ended up like making quick friends.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Which was
Oh, yeah.
We had a
very
blast
ironic,
there
to be
right away.
completely honest
Yeah.
with you. And we ended up going out for drinks after
Uh-huh.
and shit. And
It was actually a very good night.
To
Very
be a little
fun.
bit more serious, Sportsman's Night Out is held at Laurel
yeah,
High School annually. Was it the last Friday every
February.
Yeah.
every year?
I mean, it's been forever.
Forever.
Right.
Since
And-
I was a little kid going
Yeah.
there.
Sure, but
been a stable
like
thing.
you can remember, going back there, even 4 or 5 years ago, shoulder to shoulder, going
Oh,
through the
yeah.
hallways, exhibits everywhere. All the classrooms had their own videos, whether you're into archery, whether you're into muzzle loading or black powder.
Yeah, waterfowl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they even sell turtle soup there.
What?
Turtle soup.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
There's
I haven't
turtle
seen
soup there.
soup.
Son of a bitch.
Yep.
Yeah, you
Bigfoot.
missed out. You
Bigfoot.
missed out.
Yeah, because we're
Bigfoot.
stuck at the booth all day.
Yeah, Bigfoot
Yeah.
sells turtle soup.
But
We're not
what you
getting a
saw,
booth next
what you saw this year, it's kind of sad.
It is a little bit, yeah.
It's a little
really.
bit sad.
Yeah.
You used to have to park at the fairgrounds when you went in.
Compared to the
Now
last time we
you're-
were there, it was probably,
was
what do you
down.
think, like a third of the
down.
less what we
But
saw?
here's the
Yeah.
thing. You just never know being in that little room. But if you're saying it because you were probably across the
Oh,
board,
we grew
you were
up.
around.
We were part of this
Yeah,
club.
we were in the
We were part
conservation.
of
But I
the
mean, like you were
conservation club.
there. You were there
Yes.
this time as like a consumer, you would say,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Like a visitor.
Right.
So you've seen the crowd across the board, where we just see what comes into our little room over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all we see. And the numbers through that room were definitely down.
Yeah.
But if you look at the statistics across the entire nation right now with shows, the numbers are down like 30, 40%
Right.
across the board. The only one where I didn't see numbers down was Harrisburg show this year.
I
It
heard
was-
Harrisburg was absolutely
But
packed.
you wonder
Facts.
what's the ratio there? You know, is it younger kids?
Yeah.
Is it mostly adults?
Yeah, it's
You know,
tough.
that's what in the
That's a good
conservation
point.
club 5 years ago, you would go there. There's kids everywhere. There's kids ecstatic, you know, kind of, you know, wanting to hear speakers, wanting to hit all the exhibits and everything. You know, it's a circus of the outdoors for a young kid. You know, growing up, that's what I look forward to, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But the turnout just hurts. And I think that's what Citizens Outdoors, we're trying to maybe appeal. You know, you see these fancy hats. Yeah, sure, it's apparel. But in the long run, we're trying to get kids into the outdoors.
Yeah.
So what's going to bring them in? What's going to show interest? You know, what's going to get them curious? Because they're not turning out. So you need to get them curious before you can get them interested.
That's a really cool thing.
That's
and
the hard part, and that's a good question. What can we do to bring kids into it again?
Yeah. Because we're kind of not the middle ground, but the next up to teach, you know, the lower ages.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I know myself personally, I've been involved with the NWTF to like do their junior hunt with them. Chucky is always mentoring a junior hunt. Joey does, you know, we do two. I know in the last episode we said we did an annual hunt, but we do 2 annual hunts. We always bring the kids out and all this stuff. And it's kind of that thing where it's like, you know, everybody had this like catalyst that brought them to hunting.
Yeah.
And, you know, you try to bring that up because now it's, you know, you don't necessarily have that uncle that, you know, wants to take you or that grandpa that has that knowledge to
Right.
pass down to you.
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's us.
Yeah.
It's literally us, you know, and it's,
Yeah.
we have the ability to put on, you know, YouTube or any of the other things. It's like,
Which
hey,
is a way to relate to the
Which
youth.
is crazy how much
That's it,
social
yeah.
media can reach people in
it's
this current
scary.
current age.
It's
now.
scary to be honest with you because
Yeah.
if you think back to when we were 12,
It was
13.
our parents and our grandparents, and that was
Yeah,
it.
we just want to do it because our grandpa did it. And we
Yeah.
thought that was badass. You had these guns and did all this crazy shit, you know.
Well, right. Yeah. Like I remember when I was a kid, my father would leave for first day is before
Oh, yeah.
I was of age to be able to go out.
See, when you say first day, we all know that you're talking about rifle.
yeah.
Yeah.
First
deer
day,
season.
PA, rifle. Let's freaking go.
Right.
Most people don't understand what
They
that
don't-
means.
they don't
you
get
know what I
that.
mean? Like
So-
that's another thing. Our generation gets that.
It was
you know?
like
Yeah.
going off to war. Like your parents were like, "Yep, I'll see you in a couple days. I'm
Yup.
going out."
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So first day of deer season, it's like my dad would go out. I was a little too young. I wasn't able to go out, but I stood by that door all day. I waited for him to come home early because
You
if
would
he
wait-
came
you would
home
wait for a phone
early,
call or something.
It was
yeah.
game time.
if he
Yeah.
came home early, I knew there was a deer in that
Yep.
trunk. You
That
know?
was crazy because we used to wait for the toll-free code. Like there was no reception where they used to go. You'd have to literally find a phone somewhere. Like back then, there were no phones really.
Yeah,
when I
there
was
was
young,
cell
young
phones,
before I
right.
started hunting,
Mhm.
there were no phones. He'd have to find a toll booth somewhere or a phone, payphone, just to call home and say what was going on. And typically, we didn't get the call. To be honest, it was just a weekend and they were
Yeah,
gone.
most of the
And-
time,
You'll come home.
Slinging
You'll know
deer.
when I get home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know that's what
Forgotten
kids
time.
kids might not have that mentor. You know, maybe their dad's not into hunting, but maybe
Yeah.
they're a little bit curious about it. And
Yeah.
YouTube is where they go. It's like, oh, let's see what these
Yeah.
guys are doing. You
Yeah.
know, it's just,
I mean, that's the whole reason why, like, a lot of the big reason why Justin and I started Citizens Hunting Company is because we started a nonprofit before this, Limitless Outdoors. And when that whole thing was to get, like, youth who basically don't have anybody to take them outside, to take them in the woods, to go hunting. If they don't have that opportunity, we wanted to be that. You know,
Yeah.
get them outside, get
That's
them out
awesome.
in the hunting. So we started a nonprofit, like Limitless Outdoors, and we decided, you know what? I'm not sure how to get the funding for Limitless Outdoors, so we decided to do a Citizens Hunting Company for, like, the apparel side of it to, like, make money to sponsor getting youth, you know, outside and in the hunting community. Like, anyone who doesn't have, it doesn't matter if you have, like, a disability or if you just don't have a single mother who doesn't know how to take you hunting, doesn't matter. Just getting kids in the outdoors is what we wanted to do.
That's so badass.
Yeah.
Seriously. That really is.
I didn't know that personally either. So that's really cool to set up the other company to basically fund what you've been trying to do as a goal.
Yeah.
You're not just out there trying to make money off of making hats and t-shirts. That's what I'm
No,
trying to get
right,
at. Like
yeah.
that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, like our main goal with Citizens Hunting Company was to sponsor, like, our nonprofit and get kids in the outdoors. And I think that eventually we'll get there, you know. to where we can do what we
We
want
had
to do.
kids rolling through the gymnasium, and you could tell. Some of them would just pass right by, but occasionally somebody would stop and do a double take.
Mm.
You know, that's the kid who you could get into hunting. Maybe
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the kid who's a little bit
Yeah.
curious about it. And
Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, we don't want to twist kids' arm, but if they
Mhm.
have any interest at all, we want to like light that fire and like see what they can do with that,
Yeah.
and see where that goes.
The shame of it all is we talked about it and we all mentioned it. When we were younger, we had somebody
we had somebody,
that ingrained it into us without even trying.
Mm.
Yeah.
The problem now is if you have those kids that don't have that figure
They have
or
other
that
things they're
mentor to
looking
look
up to.
into, they're going to get distracted in different ways. And everyone now with technology is already all messed up anyways. But it's harder because, like you said, you got to tiptoe sometimes because these kids, it's not ingrained in them. They're not just growing up super outdoor enthusiasts.
No,
That's why you're
yeah.
just
It's
seeing
different. Like when I was a kid, I looked forward. Like I begged
Mhm.
my dad to take me.
right.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that's like that anymore.
Yeah,
It's
the
not.
same way.
It's
kinda
rarely.
lost.
If it is, it's
Yeah.
rarely. It really is.
Mm.
It's a shame because it's like, what do you do? And that's why I think you see a lot more adult hunters now that are just starting at a later age, like the one behind the camera, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's stoked. From what I hear,
Oh
dude's
my God.
reeled in.
Does he have
Didn't
a
take
shirt
much.
off right now? Like, pretty sure
Oh,
he's
yeah,
ready.
He's
to
got
go.
a turkey tattoo on his left chest. I saw.
There's more
Started
than his shirt
naming
coming off.
himself the Predator, but for
Yeah.
other reasons.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah, the other problem you face these days, you know, you get a kid interested, you get a kid wanting to go out, they're going to want success.
Mhm.
Yes.
You know, that's
Yes.
off of social media, you know, everything you see is the success, the quote unquote kill shot, you know?
Yeah.
Which brings you into the fact is some social media bad for the youth generation? Do they expect
Yeah.
Partially.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
definitely.
goes both ways, honestly.
Right.
I mean, showing them that the potential outcome is there for them to have like this incredibly like badass moment.
yeah, the reward.
But the thing, like me and you were
But
saying,
obviously, we're not hunting on a hunting preserve like these
No.
outdoor shows are.
No, but it goes back to what we were saying on the previous episode: is
Yeah.
you didn't suffer enough to really appreciate how good of a
The
day
good
you had.
times, yeah.
Like you didn't have. Wow.
Yeah.
Do I even like? Am I doing this right? Like, am I like? Do I know what I'm doing? Like, is this? Am I in the wrong spot? Am I like using the wrong stuff? To like really appreciate those days where you really, you know, get some action or, you know, God willing, you get a kill, you know, that you like really come full circle on it, that you understand that like,
And actually appreciate the end result.
and
Yeah.
then you really appreciate the work that you put into this, the work. And like, I mean, Chucky busts my balls all the time about this, but like the suffering,
It's the truth.
you know, you got to suffer a little bit. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
for
you
sure.
you really got to suffer a
Yeah.
little bit to actually appreciate when shit finally goes down. You know what I mean? When
And
it
that's the
finally
thing,
comes
too, like,
around.
You've hunted my farm before.
Oh yeah.
Turkey season on my farm from the time I was 12 until 20. You sat in the same spot every year, and those turkeys were coming to that spot every year, no matter whether you called or not. And then the last 5, 6, 7 years,
See, but that's been a nationwide thing. Turkey population
Yes,
nationwide
yes.
has been on the decline for A, B, and C.
but at the same time, I've worked those, like, you know,
Oh yeah.
there was, you guys don't know, 3 years ago, I hunted 24 of 29 days for turkey. And I got one on the second to last day.
Yeah.
But I busted my ass. And those years where you have times where nothing goes right, you can't seem to figure anything out, when you finally get that kill,
Oh, God.
it's so much
It's
more,
insane.
it's
Never
so much
forget
more
it.
appreciative.
You almost
than-
want to like break down and cry
Yeah.
at that point. Like I
Straight up. I've
Yeah.
listen.
It's
I will be the
emotional
first to
dump.
admit I've straight up cried
Yeah.
after a brutal ass year.
Yep.
Straight up. And that's the thing that I'm worried about with like the generations, using air quotes, coming up, that like I don't know if they're capable of putting in
Mm-hmm.
that
They wanna-
commitment.
Yeah.
Like
They
they
wanna-
want it right
Right.
now.
want
you
the
know what I mean?
result.
Like,
right.
Instant gratification.
Yeah,
Instant
where it's like,
gratification.
All right, I got a question
Yeah.
then. So, how do you all feel then about the youth seasons? Because
I'm
a
all
lot,
for 'em.
a lot
I'm
of
all about
times,
it, too.
though, the youth seasons offer a lot of success.
Well, we're talking about turkey right
That's-
now.
that's
Specifically,
turkey,
are we
yeah.
talking about
Let's
deer?
Could be anything.
Let's specifically
though, you know?
talk about turkey because I feel like the turkey youth season is probably, if you do it right
If,
with the right
if we're
people,
speaking,
you
it-
probably have the best odds of killing.
if we're
that
speaking in
animal
Pennsylvania,
in
and
the
you're
youth
with
Pennsylvania.
season.
Because I have a different
Yeah.
angle for the alleged youth squirrel season.
Like,
Right.
but like not tooting our
we'll
horns.
start with turkey.
Not tooting our horns. When we go out in the youth season,
Yes.
we do good.
Yeah.
It's
Turkeys haven't been worked at all.
Yes.
They're
Also
hot
that-
as they can be,
Yeah.
and they're coming to calls.
That
And
is
we're-
that is their prime week
Yeah.
of the year.
And we're
Yep.
not chump turkey hunters either when it comes to that. And we're taking kids that have never seen, that don't know, know any better.
They're
Like,
relying on you to know what you're
Yeah.
doing.
yeah, like we called on a hen last year. That's all we did.
Yeah.
And their minds were blown.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'm
I mean-
just my whole thing is like I'm all for youth seasons. Like
Same,
I
absolutely.
wish we had more days for turkey season. I wish they would give us this Saturday
Yeah.
and Sunday and even maybe a Monday, like 3 days of youth. And I know that might hurt turkeys because a lot do die. But again, at the
Yeah.
same time, you
Not
still
for,
have
not
to
for a youth season,
right.
though.
You still have to
No.
worry about the youth actually making the shot. It's not a given, even
Yeah.
though you call them in. But my whole thing is, that first year I brought my niece and nephew out. We're walking up to the spot into the field, and there's a coyote howling on one edge of the field. And as he's howling, the gobblers are responding to his howl, like
Yeah.
just bah, bah,
Oh, yeah.
hammering, right? We get set up right under this bird. It is gobbling all morning long. And like we had 3 different birds. And again, if this had not been a youth hunter, all 3 of those birds would be dead.
yeah.
We had one at 10 yards, and the kid, because there was a little bit of brush, he didn't know any better, and he didn't take the shot on a bird that just unfreaking believable setup. But, we didn't get any birds that day.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they truly appreciated how absolutely incredible that experience
Yeah,
was.
there you
Like
go.
that
Yeah.
entire hunt from before sun up till noon, we were out there and just,
Well, Geoff's
Right.
son last year in the
Mhm.
junior rifle season
yeah,
literally had a Pope. It
Dude.
might have been better than a Pope and
like
Young.
a 150s is what he was saying.
Put a 30-30 round right over its back at like 20 yards.
No,
I remember
sir.
Jeff called
No,
me
sir.
right after that.
That was a single shot 20 gauge
I'm
slug.
sorry. Single shot 20 gauge slug right over this thing's back
Yeah.
like 20 yards out of a tree stand. And it's like, dude, the first time I shot at a deer, I hit a doe in the hoof with my dad and he didn't talk to me for a month. Like,
I missed my first hunt deer, man. I missed like 4 in a row.
yeah,
And
like,
then shot one square
funny,
in the
funny
head.
story
just
about that. So first day of
first
deer,
one ever.
actually it was the last Saturday, my first year of deer season. My dad, the whole entire deer season, he walked miles and miles and miles trying to push deer to me. So we get to the last day and he cuts tracks. He circles out, pushes, doesn't see anything, comes back to me. Well, it turns out he was pushing stuff to me, not knowing it. So he gets back to me. He's like, hey, there's deer coming. I must have bumped him as I was getting back to you. And in my mind, I'm a 12-year-old kid. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't have a clear shot. I don't want to wound this deer and do something stupid. I didn't take the shot. He was furious. he was so mad. He was like, are you going to shoot or not? If you're not going to shoot, I'm not going to take you hunting. So he circles back out around, pushes these deer back to me. I was like, well, I guess I got to shoot.
yeah.
So this buck, all I saw was antlers and from the front shoulder forward.
See, back in the day, though, you could, if it had a
Well, I
horn,
was a youth.
screw
Yeah,
it,
I
send
was a
it.
youth hunter. It didn't matter. I put it right on the shoulder blade, shot. My dad heard the shot, and he was like 500 yards away. Comes running back to me. He was like, did you hit it? I was like, I don't know. I'm sitting up here. I haven't moved yet. I was waiting for you.
He probably told you to sit put.
Yeah. He was like,
Yeah.
whatever you do, don't move from this
Don't
spot.
move.
I will come back to you and get you.
Right.
So we go walk down the hill, and there's blood everywhere. He was like, you got it. He starts taking off running. I was like, I remember just being the happiest moment for a youth hunter, but like you were saying, just to get off on a tangent, but
Oh, yeah.
No, that's what youth want. They want.
No, it is.
They want success.
No, but, like,
yeah, they want success.
You wanted your
That's
old
what
man to
reels
be
you
pumped
in.
up, and he
Yeah.
was pumped
Yeah,
up. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, that's what it's all about right there.
But my whole point is, had Joe missed, he'd still be a hunter he is today.
Devastation.
He'd still be the hunter he is today.
I'd be
Yeah,
a hunter,
yes
but
or
I would
no?
be absolutely devastated. Yeah.
At that exact moment, but, like,
Still
I
be
know
thinking
that.
about
Like,
that. Yeah.
listen, I've been crushed. I missed deer once, and I cried. I was a young
Yeah.
kid. Like, I freaking cried because my brother shot it after I missed it, and I was pissed, right? But it
we
wouldn't
grew
have
up in a
changed
different
me.
generation.
That's
though.
that's what I'm trying to get at.
we
Like,
did. Like,
it just circles back to what we talked about earlier. Like,
losing
these
was a
kids
bigger
aren't the
deal
same.
for us.
mhm,
Losing was a way bigger deal
Oh,
for us.
absolutely.
Winning was a way bigger deal for us.
100%.
Succeeding was a way bigger deal. Straight up. Like, if you, all these things, like working hard was a bigger deal for us. Now it's like, just go till you get tired.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
If it's 8
Like
o'clock
you,
and
I
you're
make
ready to
fun of
go
you.
in.
I mean, I work a lot
Makes
too, but
fun of me.
I make fun of him too because I'll be like, hey, what are you doing this week? Working. Hey, what are you doing this day? Working. What are you doing this day? Working. No matter what day I ask him to do something, he's working. But you
It
strive
is.
to, you're hardworking, and
No, it's like,
that's what it's about
the way
now,
it is
yeah.
these days.
yeah, but
You gotta take the time.
we do make the time, but like, thing is like, we make the time to put in the miles. If it's time to go, guess what? We're going till the last second.
Mm.
We're going,
100%,
it's hammer
yeah.
time.
Which
When it's hammer time,
he didn't realize that either.
no. When it's time to
We-
go,
we
dude,
did not
we're
stop.
Cameraman,
going, dude.
pointing to the
I was-
cameraman.
I was
Out
hitting-
real
Yeah.
quick.
I was hitting that Yelp
knows what
at
that means.
11:59:59.
Me and you look at each other. Let's go.
If we got a gobble, we were moving
Go.
right to it. But we
You
we
had
were
that one
on it
gobble
until
just as we were getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
So to walk down the hill
Yeah.
back towards the trail, and all of a sudden he just hit once or twice, and you hear it in the distance. And then it was just immediate, like, all right, everybody get down on the ground. You're going over here.
we were
you're
like,
going
we
over
have
here."
10 minutes.
Right.
You got to get moving now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the urgency is always there, obviously, but the
drive.
drive. It's like, dude, we got our hunt in Montana coming up, and it's like, what, month and a half?
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah, you guys should have chills right
You've
now.
no
That's
idea.
pretty
Yeah.
sweet.
I honestly feel like in Montana you should be able to crush some birds out there from what I hear.
After our foray,
Yeah.
soiree, and I just used 2 words, but
Oklahoma.
soiree and
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
we get you.
Yeah.
Listen,
I'll throw it
listen,
out there.
First
There's-
off, Oklahoma's Rios. These are Merriams.
They are different,
Merriams.
different
And
sub.
the Merriams are a lot more traveling type birds.
Mhm.
So they typically hit the ground and they go.
Yeah.
And they don't stop all day long.
Mhm.
So it's going to be a little different because we're going to be putting miles on our boots and we're going to be cutting them off and trying to get them in close. The only trouble we may face is if we run into the area we want to go and it's all burned out
Mm.
because they had real bad wildfires in Montana last year.
Yeah.
And they had them in really good turkey country.
Mm.
I'm nervous as all hell. One, because we're traveling potentially 28 to 30 hours to an unknown land.
Oh, you're all right. You're all right. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
But
But sometimes like burned out areas are not all that bad. Like,
No, I've heard they're better.
Yeah,
And
I've
a
hunted
lot of
turkeys.
people.
they will
I've hunted
be
turkeys
better
in burned areas.
In years to come.
in
yes.
years to come.
if
But
it's
like,
I've hunted turkeys in like
fresh,
West
they're not
Virginia.
there.
Like
Mhm.
when they burned out in a field, like early on. Like I'm guessing like early March. By like mid-April, when the greenery's starting to come up in that field, and that it looks black, but then you can see those green shoots. Turkeys are hitting it.
Yes, but in that case, and obviously I know where you're talking about, in that case, that was just controlled burns in certain areas
Right, yeah,
where
right.
the regrowth
Wildfire.
happened. Not
Yeah.
wildfire,
Out
where
west,
all the
yeah.
trees are burned.
Right.
So you have no roost trees.
Right.
You have absolutely zero cover
Mhm.
whatsoever
Right.
because it's a total
They have to
different.
completely move.
Yeah,
to a
and
different
their
area.
soil's not quite as rich as what we have
Mhm.
either, so it's not like it's going to grow up as fast.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm nervous, obviously,
Right.
but I think we'll be fine. Like we're going to have a blast. But
Oh, for
We
sure.
have so much land to work with.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like Oklahoma was literally,
Oh man,
you hit these 10 mile by 10 mile parcels where like the road, like everything's a square.
everything's
Mhm.
Everything's a square. You would just literally drive until you see trees,
mhm.
binoculars. There's either turkeys or they're not.
Yeah.
And then you move on to the next thing. Like wherever there's water, like a river cutting through whatever.
any little water
Yeah.
where there's
Yeah.
trees. Like it was funny because the night before we first went out there and we met with Matt Garris. We stayed at his house. The guy owns Out on a Limb Manufacturing.
Total bro.
So we stayed with him, and he brought
God
us to a
bless his
couple of
family.
his places that first day. And it was just the worst weather in the world. It was freezing cold, spitting, like freezing rain, just terrible. We didn't get on a bird all day.
Low 40s.
Yeah, like we didn't get on a bird all day. Nothing.
Well,
we didn't hear a
thunderstorm.
gobble.
Thunderstorm
Yeah.
the first morning. Yeah, it was actually like, we were kind of worried about going out because we were like, wow, dude, it might like tornado
Yeah,
down
yeah,
here.
Yeah, and like you're in Oklahoma, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. But we did actually. We got on a gobbling bird first morning,
Yeah,
like
we
first
did.
moment in there. But that next day, we were like, dude, we got to do something. We hunted all day, and the only bird we ever heard gobble was that first one. I was on Onyx, and I literally pinned what I thought would be roost trees on this public land.
It's a whole other story.
Dude, it
That
was
whole
unreal. We-
Oklahoma trip.
Dude, that video,
We had
everybody,
nothing
you
but
only
respect.
shot
You guys shot
Yeah.
those birds, and then they went 45 minutes around, and those birds were still there.
we belly
Total
crawled.
lapse time was
Yeah.
an hour.
Yeah, we belly crawled close to a quarter mile. I'm not even joking. It was every bit of a quarter of a mile. We belly crawled.
It was the dumbest thing ever because they got lost. It was
It's terrible. So bad. I was going to kill you.
It
I was
wasn't even
literally
my
gonna kill
fault.
You. It wasn't your fault, but it was also
They can't
your
understand directions, okay?
Well, you
And I
parked.
sent a pin to Jeff, and apparently he just didn't look at it.
No, the problem was you said you were parking somewhere, but then you parked somewhere other than you were parking, and then whenever you
parked on
called
the
us to
Gobbling
give us the
Birds,
directions, you were assuming that we knew that you parked somewhere else.
Here's what actually happened.
We're about to get the gloves out here.
They-
It's like,
I don't need
the
gloves
real
for this.
issue is they came from a different direction than I thought they were going to come from because they had crossed the river that I thought was uncrossable.
He was telling us though, he's like, yeah, these rivers, they might be like kind of whatever, but he goes, they're deep as shit.
And it's the mud too, dude. Everything's so clay, so when you get down there and you get
Yeah.
that mud,
So it's like
it's
10
just so
feet
slippery. Just
Yeah.
across, but he's like, dude, it's like 20 feet deep. This is where we noodle for
Yeah.
catfish.
yeah,
We're like, whatever. So then, like, we went,
he wasn't messing
went up,
around.
we like rolled up on it, and I was like looking at it, and this bird's gone. I was like, Jeff, we got to get across this river. He's like,
Didn't you crawl across a log, like a down tree?
It was sus. It was real sus.
hey,
Like-
do what you got to do, right?
And then somehow my younger brother was
with.
with us too, so like they split up at one point. Apparently
Joey
they had
didn't make
some
it across the
disagreement.
river.
Yeah, that they went two different ways, and then they meet back up somehow miraculously. Like they meet back up.
Yeah.
Both of them have
And
a
he went the
different
opposite
idea
way.
of where we're at, and yeah. So then my brother has to cross the creek and meets up with them. And somehow at the same time, well, first off, we almost got shot, apparently, because
Oh
my
my
brother
God.
almost thought my buddy's hat was a turkey
It's
somehow.
incredible.
And so they crawl up
Swim
to us,
through
and yeah,
the
the
creek.
bird is still there beating the shit out of our dead birds on the ground.
Yeah.
An hour
crazy
later,
to me, yeah.
a full hour later, and then
I believe it.
blasted them, and the celebration was from there. But that trip was unreal.
It really was. Everybody was like saying, "You only shot Jake's. You only shot Jake's." It's like, dude,
I
we
haven't
only
heard
saw
one
Jake's.
person. Well,
We
first
literally-
off, I hadn't heard one person say that. If I would have, I would have asked them if they
I've
would have
heard a few.
drove 16 hours to
Hunt 3 days
to not kill a bird.
Yeah, that
And-
too.
and-
We only had
and
3 days to do it, man.
4 hunts.
Yeah,
4
That's
hunts.
a whole nother argument, and me and you had that conversation
Yeah.
too. And you did that article on it, actually.
Yes.
yeah. Same thing. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
I hunted all year. Guess what? The last day I could hunt.
Yeah.
What do you think I'm going to do?
Yeah, it's a Rio Grande, first off. It's a bird that we've never
You're
even
20
seen.
hours away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
even that. I don't care
Yeah.
if a legal half rack 6-point comes in,
Yeah, if it's
or
legal.
if a Jake with 3-inch beard comes in. If it gets your heart going, and that's
Yep.
the bird you decide to take,
Yep,
be proud of it.
absolutely, dude.
I don't
Absolutely.
know if you guys watched that video yet. You got to check it out after.
I don't think we
this,
saw
but
it.
It's pretty wild.
Dude,
It really
what
is.
you
Yeah.
can't see on camera is what our morning was really because, dude, it was unreal. We got out of the car. There was 9 birds gobbling in this tree. 9. They're just hammering. They pitched down to the other side of the creek. Me and my buddy Sam sneaked the whole way around. We get set up on these birds. There were 3 toms in that group, but they were 600 yards away. Like you could just see them all the way out in this wheat field. Well, the Jakes had pitched down closer to us, and I started calling, dude. 3 Jakes started coming in. They saw my decoy setup. I had a quarter strut decoy and a hen, which in the wheat field you can see this much of them because the wheat grass is so high.
Right.
They start coming in. Well, all of a sudden they get to 60 yards and they just booger out.
Yeah.
Freak out, turn around, go back, and I'm like, shit, man. Forgot all my mouth calls that day, mind you. So I am scrambling through my vest to find a call. I find some pot call, just a
Shitty
slate out
slate.
of nowhere, right? Find a striker out of miracle. I find a striker because I've lost all of them. And I hit that thing a couple times and they turned around. Well, what they did is they doubled back, got 3 more Jakes to come with them.
Mm-hmm.
And 6 birds came in, gobbling their faces off at 50 yards, dude. My heart was thumping from me to you away. It was insane how
Yeah.
exciting that was. Like
Yeah.
6 birds just
Have that many birds that
yeah,
close,
and they're
Yeah.
coming in and
I'll get you
I'm not
fired
even
up.
calling at this point. They're seeing my decoys and they're coming in every 10 steps. They're just blah, all of them
It's not
together.
even that, dude. We just drove 20 hours.
Well, that
and shit's
too,
going
yeah.
down. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Here it
matter
is.
what it is. It's going
That's
down.
what we came here for.
Yep.
Boy, was that fun, man. If
That was such a
anybody
blast, dude.
can do it, I recommend doing it. For me, turkey hunting has captured my soul. And
You're
the nice part, actually, what it wasn't you, but you play a part.
Oh.
Oh, shots
Dude,
fired.
it's broken
No,
here.
so I've told the
Explain.
story.
So I'm a
1,000
fickle
times.
mistress now.
I started.
Your co-host is a fickle mistress.
I started turkey hunting again. I shot a Jake when I was real young, probably 14 years old, and then stopped turkey hunting. Like, didn't do it at all. Didn't know how to call. Didn't know how to do it. The only person that did was my oldest brother. He slept in a lot. So every time we'd walk in, we'd bust birds off the roost because we were in late. So I just gave it up for a while, and then I got calls from Kyle, started to learn how to do it, and then I started hunting with my good buddy from college. And that's who I would contribute the bug to, because we fought for 3 years together, never shot a damn bird. Just didn't. We hunted every opening day together. We'd hunt through the week, and we would just mobile all the time, just on the move, looking for them. Never shot a bird together. Then the 1 year I finally did, and then you come in after that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, not that you obviously didn't play a part in it, but
I was kind of the opposite, though. Like, everybody in my family was the deer hunters, and I was, like, the one, like, I guess too easy. Not too easy. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't, like, I wasn't, like, some, like, deer slayer, but, like...
I think it's...
rifle, at least?
Yeah, that's the thing. Anyone could go out in the woods and sit there and shoot a buck that happens to run by them.
Yeah.
But you're not going to just go out in the woods and just happen to shoot a gobbler.
No.
It's just not going to happen.
No, like my youngest brother, he's 25. He just went rifle hunting for the first time this last rifle season, so this last November.
Yeah.
And he shot a really nice 8-point on the very first day at like 7:30.
Yeah.
And I said, "You don't deserve that deer."
Yeah.
Not because he's my little brother and I'm talking shit, but I mean a little bit, obviously, because he's my little brother. But I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
I'm glad, obviously, like, I'm, like, ecstatic. I was, like, so pumped up he got it. Like, I called him. I was like, dude, let's fucking go, you know? But I'm like, you didn't deserve it.
That's a prime Sabelli example.
Yeah, like...
Honestly, no offense whatsoever. Honestly.
Yeah.
We spent the first 2 days...
Sabelli at least got, like, a pretty good
I agree. He got a taste of it. But it only took him 3 days.
I'm saving my smart-ass remarks right now.
It took him 3 days to kill a bird. And that was
Seabird
like...
said earlier was true. It's like, they were, like, really pissed, like, those first 2 days from everything that happened. But me, having that turkey fly over me like Khaleesi on a dragon, swooping over top of me, I was like, wow, this is the greatest thing ever. And, you know,
me and him were furious.
Yeah, these two were pissed. And I was like, I'm going to do this forever. And it's like, it's just different from, you know, the perspective of whoever is doing it. Especially if it's new. Like,
but like,
we took it to heart. Like, we were mad.
Oh, straight up. And it's like I told my brother, I was like, and it sounds very stereotypical, like, older brother, like, kind of whatever. Like, you didn't earn that. But, like, maybe not you didn't earn it, but you don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, you...
Yeah, it's not earning it.
Yeah,
you don't understand
I'm, like, so pumped that you got that. But, like, you know, you weren't 12 with our crazy dad getting judged in the middle of a cornfield because you just whiffed on a 80-pound doe. You know what I mean? Like... you know, like, you don't understand, like, that whole struggle. Like, I didn't kill my first buck till I was, I mean, I don't even remember how old I was. I think I was in my
20s.
I was 15 or 16, you know.
I was in my 20s when I shot my first buck. And it was a half rack 6-point at Moraine. Another story for a different day. But anyway, like, you know what I mean? Like,
and that goes back to, like, I wasn't mad at you, obviously.
Oh, I know.
I wanted to be a part because I was so invested in the first 3 days of trying to get Sabelli's first bird.
Dude, I was so pumped that me and you got one the first day. I was like, Joe, come up.
I had birds gobbling nonstop from like 5:30 to 6:30, and I texted him. I was like, we're good.
Yeah.
Well, then he shot one at like 7:38.
And that full circle. I've never gotten one on the first day.
Yeah.
I've never gotten one that early in the damn morning, and I was like, what do I do now?
He was pumped up.
Oh, I was real jacked up. We were like going nuts in the woods.
I was pumped up for him. I was excited. But at the same time, I was like,
what do we do?
I haven't heard a bird in 2 hours now. I'm going to spend my entire season trying to get a bird. Like, I was extremely happy for you. But then, no sooner I sent a text to him, I saw 3 birds come running towards me. I dropped the first one that came in. And then I texted him. I was like, this was the 1 year that we didn't get 2 tags, too. It was the 1 year. Yeah. We always get 2 tags, and this was the 1 year we didn't. I was like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And he told me about Sabelli. I think, did we do the squirrel hunt before the turkey hunt? I think we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So I obviously met you at Frankie's before, but then we did the squirrel hunt with him. And then
My first confirmed kill.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Squirrel.
Yeah. It was,
Fox?
yeah.
Yeah.
Gray?
Whose shotgun
No,
was it?
It was a gray. No,
it was
the
a fox.
first one
It was
was
a fox, yeah.
Whose shotgun was it?
Foxy
It
lady.
was the Wizards.
It was the Wizards, as a matter of fact.
But then he
First blood.
texted me, so that was Saturday. He texted me and said, "Hey, Monday we're gonna take Sabelli out.
Yeah.
Come up." I was like, "Well, I'm off, so
Let's go.
I'm gonna come up." And we spent those first 2 days.
Sunday, I scouted the
Yeah.
shit at everything I could scout.
Yeah.
Just gotta get somebody out there.
Yeah.
Somebody else
You
interested.
gotta light the fire, dude. That's
If
the
that
biggest
kid's
thing.
I am the youth.
You're the youth,
I
but
am the adult youth hunter.
if you're ever blessed with children, I'm sure you're gonna pass that down.
Oh, yeah.
We're not sure about the
We'll be
children part,
outside.
but
Oh, we'll see. I'll
God
be
damn it,
ripping
I
some
gotta
lips, don't worry.
That's a whole nother story. Don't get me started.
Whole nother.
We gotta tell the dragging out and gutting story.
Oh yes.
Are we gonna
Actually
talk about
wanna hear it.
Sabelli's deer?
No.
We weren't even there, and we
I'm
can
gonna
tell a
turn
story
this
about
off.
Sabelli.
this is
Listen,
news
there's-
to the citizens out.
Battery's gonna get out again.
There's 3 of us that can tell a story about Sabelli's deer, and we weren't actually
Sabelli's
physically
first
there.
non-guided kill.
Oh my god!
I feel like he
For-
should be over here in front of
For the
mic.
record, he made it in the intro. Finally,
I don't know how.
he did.
Barely.
Maybe
I
I'm
might
a
still
little-
make the
little
cutting room
upset
floor,
about
you
that.
never know.
He might be taken out after this. I don't know, but yeah, he's coming a long way. I'll give him that.
I agree.
But like we all
Took
said,
me like 3 years, but this guy.
I will say
but you had your
there is
thing.
very few people that are more than willing to go chase Willow around the woods. And anytime I text Sabelli, he's in. Whether
Car's already
because he has
started.
nothing else
Yeah.
to do.
Granted, he has nothing else
It's
to do.
really not fair because I want to do it in the worst way
But
again.
whether that dog is 10 yards or 600, he's right with me.
You're damn right.
You know why there's no hills
go,
when you
pat
squirrel
yourself
hunt?
on the
Maybe
back
that's
there.
Oh, there is.
why. I mean, no
It's a hell of a
mountain
kill,
hills.
Oh, there is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he makes it. I don't know.
Not willingly, but
You would have been there for
It's all about the
how
shot.
long? What, 2 weeks ago?
What?
3 weeks ago when we went coyote hunting. Was it 3 weeks ago?
Oh boy, that first 100 yards, boy. It was
Oh, he
almost-
told me all
the soul
about it.
was leaving my body.
That place sucks. By the way, I don't know why anybody goes out there.
Yeah, neither
It
do I.
sucks.
Yeah, neither do I.
is that where we squirrel hunting?
No, I don't even think we took.
Unless you can squirrel hunt on a sheer cliff.
The year
Yeah.
we got the fat back one.
Yeah.
That first hill, like as soon as you cross that little creek and you go straight up, we took them straight up that.
Yeah. Which is
Well,
where
the
we
issue
go.
is when you look
It's
up,
kind of brutal, but
when you see Geoff 100 yards up above you already, like one of those mountain goats,
see
and
where
I'm
Jeff
sucking wind.
Jeff is a bad example just because he is not a real
Superhuman.
human. Yeah, he's not a human. He's
really
he's
not
not
fair.
actually human. If I can make it up it without being out of breath, then that means you are clearly out of shape.
I'm not gonna deny that.
I don't know, man. Your pace compared to mine is just not even fair.
Yeah, you
He's
have
got
that-
the stride,
He has
though.
that Oregon
He's got
Trail
that
like
stride.
I mean,
that
Yeah,
is
it's just
true though,
rolling.
because I find myself that I am in decent shape at least. And Booer was ahead of me.
It just
on-
doesn't make
on a
sense.
certain trail.
Yeah.
Well, that's like Kyle. Like he strapped that buck I got in West Virginia on my back, and I had most of it on my back except for like our one buddy had like maybe a hind quarter, and I was like, I made pretty good time for as out of shape as I am.
Mhm.
I made pretty good time getting out of there with that buck on my back, and he's like, "Well, you got those damn long mountain legs. That's why." And I was like, "Well, I guess that's probably it."
Yeah,
Nah,
but
bro,
it
the
did take
diesel
you
just
about. It did
downshifted.
take you. It took him about 15 minutes to get off the ground once his pack was full.
God,
He got-
I needed a winch.
He needed
and
to call. Yeah.
ATV to pull me
Pulley
up.
system from the
Like-
tree. Yeah,
like a squirrel
We
or
got
a-
him up.
A turtle on a shell.
Yeah, it was like
We got him up there.
So, I mean, we kind of went on a tangent with like our little like shebang there, but what is your guys' kind of galvanizing hunting stories that you guys kind of have with your crew of dudes? Because I mean,
Oh man,
you were at that table. I mean, you guys had more people than we did. You had like what 5-6 dudes chilling there.
we got a really good like core group that we started hunting with. That we all went down. Like we've been going to West Virginia for a few years now, and Kyle and I have been going down there for a couple years.
Is that like the main out of state place you guys
yeah,
go?
that's like it. Like Kyle goes to Oregon and stuff like that by himself, but like for the group of guys to all be able to get together, we get on to West Virginia.
Hell yeah.
And like the last couple of years, we've went down there, and Kyle usually shoots the biggest buck, and we all like, you
He's
know,
just jacking you off right now, bro.
yeah.
That's all right.
Well,
He's
like I'm
allowed.
literally
Yeah.
so this
he's
year,
not lying.
last 2 years.
Does he earn it though? Does he earn it?
No,
That he's
no.
suffering.
Oh, I earn it.
He sits there
Trust me.
and they
Sounds
come
like he
running
needs to come
by.
hunting with us.
But we got a really good group, like Justin Aller, who's, the other partner with me with Citizens Hunting Company, goes down there. Kyle and
Justin, he's
pretty
really
new.
dipping his toes now.
Yeah. I mean,
who talk about getting moldy, lucky his first year.
Kyle and I started taking Justin hunting 2 years ago. And
so Justin's the other
half of the Citizens.
The other half of Citizens.
Yeah. And before he started hunting with us, he hunted like when he was like 14 years old, and then he quit. Yeah. And then, so he came out. He really wanted to get back into hunting, so he came out with us. And this was like a year after Kyle and I started hunting together again. And we told him, come out and come hang out with us and hunt, So he comes down, never turkey hunted before, comes down to West Virginia to turkey hunt public ground. And I'm hunting on one side of the road. Justin's on the other side of the road. He calls in. I taught him how to use a pot call, just barely. I mean, he could just squeak on it, basically. He called in 2 longbeards on public ground.
And not only that, but he's obnoxiously standing up and moving because he filmed it.
Yeah, he's filming it.
You can see him just.
He's moving around. He's got the camera. It's just he's got his phone on his tripod.
Perfect days.
And they came up and he blasts one at 15 yards. And he's like,
no hooting or hollering or nothing.
Yeah, he's like, all right.
Just assumed that this is the way it goes.
So he goes and gets that bird, picks it up, and it's his first ever gobbler. And I was like, you kidding me? Like, your first gobbler is at West Virginia public ground.
Yeah.
So then him and I, a couple weeks later, are hunting Pennsylvania on our lease, and these turkeys are hung up over 150 yards down over the hill. There's a huge field in between us and where the turkeys are hung up. And there's 2 of them gobbling, and they've been hung up down there for 20 minutes, and I'm doing everything I can possibly do call-wise, and we have our decoy spread out with a couple hens and Jake, and finally, those turkeys come up to the corner of the field, and I can just see their red heads popping up, and they start working their way up through this field slowly. They gobble a couple times, and then they're just picking their way up to us, and I just shut up, and we're just watching them, and they come up to our decoy spread, and I was able to count with him 1, 2, and shoot, and we got the whole thing on video. And
you showed me that video. It's wild.
Oh man, it was fantastic. And we both dropped longbeards. We go running out there and grab our birds, and from that point on, I think he's hooked. But I don't think he realizes you killed 2 longbeards your first year ever turkey hunting. That's almost unheard of, in turkey hunting. 2 longbeards.
Tanner.
But the kid just had a fantastic
he did
first year.
He did. So our buddy Tanner, who is the other counterpart to the Northern Outcast and the creator in all reality,
he's a more original member than I am, ironically enough. Yeah,
and his first ever experience turkey hunting.
To be fair, his first ever was with me, and it was terrible. That was the day we found out that everything I scouted the week before got logged out.
Was that the same year?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you're right.
That was the same year.
Yeah, that was
2 weeks prior.
It was opening day. You guys were supposed to go up to camp, and he was going to hunt up there with Boer. And then
real terrible.
Overnight basically showed up, and the whole property was destroyed. So it was a horrible day to begin with. It was really windy. I remember that opening day.
It was
super
very windy.
Nothing was talking.
It's horrible.
So his next time out, he kills a bird. I think it was was it an evening bird?
It was like Friday, and then Saturday morning he went back and shot another one. It was just as big.
Back-to-back hunts. He kills bird, and then turns around, calls off, goes the next day, kills another bird.
Yeah.
2 just beautiful longbeards back to back.
Well, even Justin's first year deer hunting, he shot a spike, right? This is in West Virginia.
He had a doe tag, and he thought he was shooting a doe. And he ended up coming up on it.
He had a buck tag,
He had a buck tag.
He had a buck tag, too, but he got to spend it on the spike.
Yeah, he comes up
but
and goes,
still,
fuck me.
he didn't go home empty-handed his first year out there.
Yeah, and then he comes home to Pennsylvania and shoots a buck.
Right.
First day.
Now, this year he went out, and he got skunked in West Virginia, as did I, but I think next year would be saying a lot as to how ambitious he is. And
like the second day of West Virginia, he decided to soak in the tub for a while because his back was hurting.
Right.
So like that kind of thing, like you can't.
That's when you get burned with early success. That's where it speaks. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it?
That's my kind of guy.
Have you suffered enough? That's like, and I hate repeating anything even similar to what Steve Rinella says on Meat Eater, but
Listen,
whenever
don't
you went,
bash Steve Rinella. Steve
All
Rinella
right,
is not
but
the
he's
problem
gonna
with
repeat
Meat
him.
Eater.
I'm
He's
not
gonna
gonna
repeat
I'm
him.
not gonna bash
That-
him.
That
Listen,
man has done more for
He
hunting
fucking had
than
a
a lot of
podcast
people.
where he encouraged shooting dogs, and I will never respect him after that.
Listen, if I
Really?
had
What do you
done
mean
that,
current
yeah.
shooting dogs?
He said if a dog interrupts your hunt or is seen, obviously there's different laws from state to state.
Yeah.
In Pennsylvania, it is illegal to shoot a dog unless it is actively attacking livestock
Correct.
or an animal.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't directly say it, but imposed the idea that those should be eliminated.
Okay.
And I will never respect him after
well,
that.
in that case, I retract my statement.
Yeah.
Fully.
So Steve
Well,
Rinella.
he might retract his statement too.
Steve Rinella's done a lot
I
of
would
good,
like
but
to
he's
know some
not
context,
done the
but-
best good.
Uh,
If that makes any sense, he's not done the best good. As I'm sitting here from my soapbox, but
He's done a lot. He
No,
has,
I will say
in a,
that.
in
I
a
agree.
positive way.
he
but
he
yeah.
took Giannis Patelis, his other dude, who's not as openly as affiliated with him anymore these days, from what I've seen on social
he
media.
does a lot of solo stuff.
Yeah,
So-
but he took his dad with him moose hunting in Canada. So it was either Canada or Alaska. I can't remember where it was. But they shot this moose in the first day, and he's like, I don't feel like I haven't suffered enough.
yeah.
And that kind of hits me a little bit. Like, if I feel like I cheated, like the first day I got that turkey, I was like, wow, this is kind of like crazy, like,
I think as a hunter, you kind of graduate.
yeah,
For me, speaking for myself, I grew up hunting whitetails and pretty much just grew up hunting solo.
Yeah.
I've been a solo hunter until I met Seth about 4 or 5 years ago. And that's just the way I did it. I wanted to be alone. I figured that was my best chance at seeing game was by myself, less movement. I got somebody with me. That's more movement.
Yeah.
That's less
liability.
chance of me. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not wrong, too, in the fact that I like being by myself for the fact that it's
Yeah.
just my time to do what
Yeah.
I need to do. It's
Right.
my
I just
time
like
to
going to the
avoid-
camp.
But yeah.
It's your
same thing.
It's the way to get away.
Yeah.
And I kind of think sometimes, what keeps me going out in the woods? In a way, it's meditative, because when you're not hunting, work all day long,
Yeah.
getting in your head.
Yep.
But when you're out there, even if you're just in a tree stand, you're concentrating. If there's no deer in front of you, you're looking for movement.
You're looking for a deer in front of you.
You're not thinking about work. You're thinking about trying to find a deer. Is a deer going to come by? When is a deer going to come by?
Yep.
Is it rain? It's raining now. It's super windy. There's no deer. You're still thinking about deer. So your mind is occupied and your mind's not thinking about work. And we live in a super busy world
Mm-hmm.
where all of our minds need a break. And that's what keeps me going out there. It's like my mind, when I'm out there, focused on the task at hand. I'm not thinking about work. So it's meditative for me. But eventually, you're going to need to broaden your horizon, for lack of better terms. Got so good at hunting deer, it got monogamous. It was boring. It's just boring. So I started thinking about, this is the only interest that I know about. How can we expand on this knowledge? When you're a hunter, there's all kinds of different avenues you can go by. You could be a dog runner, houndsman. You could be a turkey caller. You could be a gearhead. The hunting gear is, that's kind of what I consider myself, more of a gearhead. But I also like to adventure. I'm all about what's over that next hill. You never know. Is what I'm looking for going to be over that next hill? Or am I going to get over the next hill, see nothing, and have to go over
Next though.
the next
Yep.
hill?
Well, it's a very figurative and literal thing
But-
too.
Am I willing to go to that next hill?
Oh yeah.
And hunting for me, it's meditative. It's perseverance. It's a task at hand. There's a reward,
Yes. Should you choose to seek it, there is a reward.
right.
Yes.
And if you're willing to keep going,
Yes.
if I have advice for anybody starting out, it's going to be like, just get out there. Who cares if you don't know what you're doing? You got to get out there.
I told him that.
That's how
You
you're
gotta
gonna
get
learn.
out
I said,
there, man.
even turkey hunting, I said, I don't care how bad of a caller you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's more often where you set up. You can call it, I can squeak to a turkey.
That's right.
Eventually, one might walk in front of me if I'm out there every single day.
The
Yeah.
setup's 80% of it, in my opinion.
That's right.
Honestly, it really is. Where you're sitting at, you sit on a tree that's half the diameter of your body, you're probably not going to get that bird.
Mhm.
Which I did in Virginia.
Yeah, and you know what though? Sometimes you turn around, you get one to go off, and you go, shit.
And that's right.
Yeah.
And
That
what I was
happens
thinking
too.
about too is like, All right. I'm out here. Say you're archery hunting. You're in a tree stand. Everybody loves to bitch about squirrels and how squirrels ruin hunts. Well, are you hearing a squirrel or are you listening?
Yes.
Are you listening? Because no squirrel fools me. I don't get it.
If you listen, you can tell the difference.
I don't get it. Yeah, I know that's a damn squirrel.
Yeah.
I've heard thousands of them.
A deer is crash.
Mhm.
Crash.
Rhythmic.
The thing
Crash.
is,
A squirrel
Right.
Yeah. Sorry.
you'll think you're hearing deers until you finally hear a deer and you go, oh.
Yep.
And I do it every year. The
Mhm.
first time I finally see a doe coming in after I've seen, heard 20 odd squirrels or some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Till that one deer comes in,
And then
sound
you're
a
like,
lot like a squirrel,
"That's
and then
what
you
they
don't
say."
turn your
It's
head,
like
and then
you
guess
almost
what?
like
You're
feel like
fucked.
I'm not gonna go look at that squirrel. Then I'm gonna. And then you look at it.
That's
And you're
it.
like, I'm gonna.
And the next
turn
thing you
my-
know,
yeah.
there's like a 6-point just staring at you
Yeah.
up in the
Uh-huh.
trees.
I'll tell
So
you right
if
now,
you're
man.
out there, are you hearing things or are you listening to things?
Yes.
Are you seeing things or are you taking note of the things you're seeing?
He just got really deep on us, dude.
Dude, I didn't know if Gandhi had written everything he
I'm
just
about to end this
started to
podcast on
say.
a hot note. You got to enjoy it.
We are at an hour.
You do.
You got to
do.
enjoy it. You got to. You can't be out there just
There's
to
no point going if you're not enjoying.
harvest.
Yes.
You gotta be out there to
unless
learn.
You're obviously going to get frustrated. You're going to get
Yeah.
mad.
Yes,
But it is all a learning experience.
you're
in the
gonna
end.
fail.
Yes.
Yeah.
failing's the best way to learn.
Unless you're
Exactly.
Exactly. You just get everything handed
Straight
to
up.
you.
Every
Yeah.
year I fail. I'm an avid hunter. Yeah, this year
This
I
poor
missed.
kid.
I missed a giant black bear. Clean miss. I missed a not giant, but I missed a nice,
Big enough that you're
nice
thinking
buck.
about it right now.
In the Allegheny public land, Allegheny National Forest buck. I missed. And I pretty much ended my season after that second miss. But you better be damn sure I'm going out there next year.
Hell yeah.
And I'm fired up for turkey season, which is about to start in a couple months here. But it gets to a point with everybody. This is our hobby, this is our interest, this is what keeps us
Oh yeah.
active, this is what keeps us healthy. But I think when you're an outdoor industry and you're a hunter, this is it's something that you can always learn from. Anytime you go out, you should be learning. You should be listening. You should be taking notes with your eyes.
If you don't learn something from each hunt, it's an unsuccessful hunt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
And just
Absolutely.
like you I guarantee you pick up on your dog's tail movements, your dog's ear movements.
Yeah.
And you didn't pick up on that stuff right away.
Oh, it takes a long time.
But you're picking up on it
Yeah.
now because you're educating yourself every time you're going
Yeah.
out. And you're learning about nature. And you have a goal. You know what you need to focus on for that goal. If harvesting a squirrel or just treeing a squirrel is your goal, you're going to get better at that.
Yeah.
That's your purpose.
Fun fact, for the longest time, I didn't know what a gobbler drumming sounded like. I thought it was a hen putting or purring.
Mhm.
Honestly, for the longest time.
just
I
had
love
this
hearing
talk the
dudes'
other
stories about the first time they realized.
I've
Whoa,
turkey hunted
that's
for
drumming.
20.
You can do
some
a
years.
good drum.
Yeah.
Do it in the mic.
I mean, I don't know if
We'll
we
cut
can
you.
do it.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like it's more of a
should hear it in
spit, like
here.
It's
the
a spit.
you
I've
hear.
heard him spit more than I've heard
Yeah.
him drum.
The spit you hear, I honestly think it's my hearing loss that doesn't let me hear the drumming all the time.
Yeah.
But until the day you killed yours, the one you killed, and the day before when I went out and scouted, and I had those birds right in
Yeah.
front of me 10 yards, and I finally heard
Well, that's
it
how
for
it was.
the
Like you
first
said,
time.
I learned. Like
Mhm.
it clicked in my head. I was
You
like,
didn't hear that
I
your
was like,
first bird. You
No.
might not have heard that your second,
I
third,
haven't heard
fourth
it in
bird.
8
but
years.
I was like, that's
Your
what it
fifth
sounds
bird?
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
You heard that.
Yeah.
And the weird part is, even after that bird,
Mm-hmm.
I'd never heard it since. It was
Mhm.
just those birds in the mountains. There was something about it. There was something in the air where I could literally feel it
Yeah.
in my chest when they were drumming right in front of me. I could.
Yeah.
When I finally heard, I was like, "Oh my god!" I
That
finally
shit
heard it. I
does
could
hit
have
a different
swore
octave.
I didn't. I couldn't hear it. Like
Yeah.
I could have swore because people say it on TV all the time. Like listen to drum, you can't hear it on TV. No matter, I don't care what.
Yeah.
You just can't capture it.
No, can't.
And then I
You
finally
feel
did
it
it,
in
and
your
then all of a
chest,
sudden,
almost like that.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
if you hear like like a ghetto blaster going down the road, and then like that like inner ear like shake
Mhm.
that happens. It's kind of like that.
It's,
You know,
weird because then his bird comes down, pitches down 200 yards away, and I hear it drumming at 200 yards. I'm like,
Mhm.
holy shit, now I'm going to hear it every time.
Yeah,
and then And then it went away forever again, I think, because I didn't hear it on the next five birds.
Yeah, it'll come back.
It was crazy, man.
And then you take experiences like that, but then I recently started elk hunting, and then you have like an elk bugle 20 yards away from you.
That's what I hear.
It feels like the world's shattering around you.
Let's go off the rails.
Right then and there.
I had a gobbler this past year for the youth day when I had my nephew out. I was on this like logging road. It's kind of like a washed out logging road. Yeah. Where I was like tucked up against this logging road. I'm calling because the road kind of bends down here, and I'm like trying to call it around this bend where he's at over here.
Yeah.
The gobbler went up around us and came down to where I could feel him looking down at me at like 5 yards. I could hear him walking down, and I could hear, and I'm like, oh shit, he's right behind my head. Mm-hmm. And then he looks down over at me off this little ledge, and he's like looking at me. I'm curled up in a ball down here. I was like, had my call in my mouth, and I could just hear. And then he starts walking away.
Goodbye.
Yeah. But then he walked away, and then he started strutting again over there.
Yeah.
Who are the ones that survived the death putt, though, huh?
Because I got weird. Because I wasn't afraid of cowabunga.
Hey, sometimes you gotta get off the chains, man.
The best way, I described it to him is literally when those birds get in finally. Like, if you call one in, and that bird is in like that area, like, hey, I should be seeing something right now. The eye of Saron, they go sideways, and that eye just starts scanning. Mm-hmm. And if it locks onto you, forget it, bro.
Peace
That's
out.
Yeah.
Hey, good night.
Yeah. This is the weirdest thing. I'm like laying there, like huddled up in a ball.
Everybody knows
and
that
I can
noise.
feel this turkey looking at me at like 5 yards behind me. I wish I could have got that on video at a distance, because that turkey would have been like right here looking
just
down at
judging
me.
you.
And I'm just laying there. And I just hear...
And for those of you who don't know, Seth is about 6'5".
Yeah.
Yeah. In that range.
He's wizard sized.
Yeah.
I can't curl up in a ball very well.
He can't hide too easily.
Yeah.
He's got to be good with the
turkey
calls.
saw me and decided that's not right.
It's the death putt, dude.
Curls up.
Everybody knows. You say death putt in Western PA, they know what you mean, dude.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the worst noise in the world.
Oh, it's the worst. It really is.
It's demoralizing.
Yeah.
It's demoralizing because you could be doing everything right. If you don't have your eyes tucked down low enough and they catch too much white in your left eye, guess what? Mm-hmm. Death putt. See ya.
Yeah, like me, it was just like they had to have just seen my back, and they just knew that lump wasn't supposed to be there, and they were just
know.
And I was like, oh, I literally didn't move because I could hear the footsteps.
They literally have the eyes of a freaking predatory bird.
Yeah,
or better. We kind of like. Good
right
segues. But do you guys have anything to kind of add here, just to wrap it all up?
Hey, have us back. We got a lot of stories.
Yeah, I think
these guys must be really good, spitting out some more
relationship. I think it's going to be a good relationship. I want to do some hunting together.
We're going to have a lot more stories.
Let's do some content together. And
hit me up for West Virginia, man. I'll be down there.
We hunt the same exact place.
Yeah, might as well hunt together.
Might as well hunt together. Yeah,
maybe.
Although we might be venturing a little further south this year. We'll see. Don't say that.
I got
Monroeville.
Insert
anybody ever asked? We were in Monroeville.
An hour and 12 in. I'll be honest. If I'm still listening to this point, the editing, God bless me.
Hey, we can get it under an hour.
If someone else is still listening at this point, they should be.
If any listeners are going this long,
go to West.
They're diehards.
Godspeed.
They love it.
All right, well, let's get out of here, guys.
Chaz.
Yeah, buddy.
It's been fun,
dude. The Outcast is back, my dude.
It's back. I'm happy for it. Now I don't have to say I have a podcast, right? I can say we. Yeah. We, PP. I got you, bro.
See you in hell.
Yep.
Northern Outcast, thank you.